is Nurul. I'm from IDN Times Indonesia.
Hi Nuro, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Ben?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for coming.
Okay, let's get into the first question. My first question would be, what is so special about General Kirigan or the Darkling that make you interested in play his role?
I think he was just such an intriguing, mysterious, dark, shadowy, powerful figure on the outside. And I was wondering, as I got into reading the scripts, before I got into the books, what it was that was making this man tick, and what was driving him, what was the driving force, where has he come through, what has he been through that is causing him to feel like he needs to act the way that he does, and is he sort of redeemable as well after some of the things that he acts out on. And for me, it was sort of interesting to task myself with finding the humanity in such a dark figure.
I see. So do you find anything relatable from this character with you?
I mean, I think I had to find the things and I had to bring them to him. And I think you always have to bring a part of yourself. And so if he's a powerful character, I wanted to show where he's vulnerable, and that vulnerability obviously comes from inside of me. When he feels confused, or when he feels really drawn to Alina and her light and her hope and her joy, I know what that feels like, to be drawn to someone in that way. So hopefully that is the way that it expresses itself, through little choices, little moments that I don't really want to spoil, but little moments that I came up with in the moment during the scene that are just very authentically me, and hopefully that brings some humanity to him.
Aside from that, do you have a special preparation to embody this character in the screen?
I mean, obviously, just my first stop was the books, and I had a list of quotes from the books and lines that he says, and I had it written down on a list. And sometimes in a scene, if it wasn't quite working, I would go to my list and I would find a line that would really suit this moment from the books, and I'll sort of inject it in there, and it would often make the scenes richer in terms of exploring the themes of this world. But I was also watching some interesting, very still villains on screen, in terms of I rewatched Silence of the Lambs with Anthony Hopkins in it. He's sort of very still and sort of powerful and knowing, without having to express it very much. And so a few performances like that I was went back to, but essentially I tried to do something new for me, which was to play someone so kind of powerful.
The atmosphere of the series is a bit dark, but can you share us, is there any funny moments or memories when you were shooting this series?
I mean, I think there was lots of fun with the cast themselves. I mean, there was always, in some of these palaces that we were filming at, there was often a piano in the corner. So myself or Kit or somebody would often, we'd have a sing along in between takes, and we'd have a lot of fun exploring Budapest and the baths and the kind of the ruined bars and all of that kind of stuff. So we'd have a lot of fun. But when we were actually shooting, there was kind of less silliness, just because we all cared so much about making it great.
This is not your first experience with fantasy or a period theme or genre. How do you find this different from your previous work, like Narnia?
Well, I think firstly in the character, like we already said, in terms of playing someone very powerful, I've been used to playing the characters more like Archie plays in this, like Mao, who are kind of coming of age and finding their feet and trying to figure out who they love and who they hate and what their purpose is. And I think this is a man who's been through all of that and come out the other side of it, for better or worse. And so it was kind of interesting to approach it from that angle. But just the world felt so fresh to me reading it. It just felt like a world I hadn't really seen on screen before. It reminded me a little bit of Harry Potter, or a little bit of Star Wars, a little bit of Anna Karenina, a little bit of Peaky Blinders or Ocean's 11, and all of these things. But it didn't really feel like any one of them. And so I was just sort of keen to be involved, really.
Thank you so
No,
much
you're
for the
so welcome.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Have a nice day.
Cheers. Bye.
Hi, I'm Danti from IDN Times Indonesia.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, Leigh. Hi, Eric. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing out there?
I've already watched your new show. It's really great. I have a few questions for you guys. First, for Leigh, as you are the writer of this book, you can say that Shadow and Bone is like a precious baby for you, right? So, how do you feel after seeing the result of this adaptation?
I mean, I guess if Shadow and Bone were my baby, I feel like my baby like grew up, went to college, and like won a Nobel Prize. So it's been very exciting to see it become something else and to welcome so many people into the storytelling and to see so many new people discovering the stories. And it's just this really incredible kind of magic to see this world both come to life and evolve into something totally new.
Great, nice. Next, maybe for Eric. Uh, Adapted from a very successful and widely popular with a huge fan base, there must be, some challenge in adapting this novel into a series. What is the biggest challenge for you?
I think it's probably to make sure that we respect how we feel when we read the story and capture that feeling in the show, because that's the heart of it. And if we don't have the spirit of the Grishaverse and of Leigh's authorial intent to carry through into this, then I think the show ends up falling apart. Things are inevitably going to have to change in adaptations. That's just sort of the pill you swallow with this type of work. But it's to make sure that you don't lose the purpose of a story in doing so.
Thank you. And I will come back to Leigh. This is the first time I see about a Grishaverse. It's very wonderful. How did you come up with all the ideas for this verse? And where did you draw the inspiration from, especially for I'm really interested in the Darkling's character and the Sun Summoner, like that. Maybe you can explain a bit for people who haven't read the book.
Well, it really all began with a question. It began with the idea of what if darkness was a place? What if darkness was a place and the monsters you imagined there were real? And all of the questions that sprang out of that initial idea. Okay, well, why would you ever go into a dark territory crawling with monsters? And what's on the other side of it? And what would these monsters look like? And what created them in the first place? And how would you fight them? And so I had a very early vision of a young girl leading a group of soldiers through the darkness. And that girl would become Alina Starkov, and that darkness would become the Shadowfold. And as for the Darkling, I think that he's a mix of all of the dangerous characters I fell in love with growing up. He's a little bit Raceland, he's a little bit Flag from Stephen King's books, he's a little bit Jareth from Labyrinth, and I hope that he's his own character in and of himself.
And the next question is for Eric. You have chose a very great list of actors. What makes you, the reason for you to choose the main actors for this series?
Well, when we encountered these actors in the auditions process, we really fell in love with their portrayal of these characters. We feel like they embodied it, and in some cases they surprised us with a delivery of the character that neither Leigh nor I had necessarily seen before, but that stuck with us. And so we began to be champions of these actors, and particularly like Jessie. We had a very exhaustive search for that role, considering that it was a specific one. All of them are specific, but this was our first foray, and I remember when we found her early on in the process, it was an instant connection. It was not only that she felt that she played the role of Alina Starkov well, but it was after the audition was done, the actor typically runs through their core information. They list their name, they list other stuff like that. And Jessie's personality just gave us a sense that she is also the sun summoner in that time, that she is just a bullion. And so we knew it was possible, and it just gave us some confidence going into the rest of the casting.
Okay, next is for the both of you. Can you tell me your personal favorite character from this Shadow and Bone?
It's so hard to choose one because it really changes from scene to scene, and I love them all so much. It doesn't feel right to pick favorites. I feel like you know, if I were just choosing from one moment or one scene, I could say, oh, I can't even say that, because you watch a scene, and I think what's so remarkable is that these characters work so well together. You know, I can't imagine Freddie as Kaz without Amita as Inej and Kit as Jesper, and I can't imagine Jessie as Alina without Archie as Mal and Ben as General Kerrigan. I can't break them up because they've all become one incredible machine, magical machine.
I would not be a good foster parent on the show if I chose a kid. So
can you imagine?
Yeah, I have to be a good dad to everybody, and they are phenomenal in their own right. But the good thing is that you can love each of them for different reasons and for different things. Yeah. Which again is a testament to how Leigh created these characters.
Okay, last question, maybe. What do you hope the audience can take away from this series after they watch them? For both of you.
That there is light in the darkness.
I think that's beautiful.
How about you, Leigh?
I think it's been a very hard time for everyone, literally everybody in the world over the last few years. And I would be thrilled if they found a place to escape for a while and to find a place where they can discover magic and companionship and an opportunity to fight some monsters that really can be bested.
Okay, apparently I can have one more question. Okay, for both of you again, how would you describe Shadow and Bone for people who might not read these books yet?
Shadow and Bone is a series set in a world inspired by Tsarist Russia about a land torn in two by darkness and a young woman who no one expects to do much with her life, but who proves that she could be the key to setting her nation free.
And for the show, we add in a ragtag group of criminals who cause trouble for the storyline.
Great, thank you so much for the opportunity. I can't wait to see you guys again. Bye, thank you.
Thank you so much.